Hey Foxy, come check this out.
Hey, what be the matter, toy bunny?
Look, it says gullible on the floor. Oh.
I got one for ye. Why did the bunny run away?
Why?
To get away from the runaway airplane.
I don't get it. Ah!
Hello everyone, I'm Radicool FNAF and welcome to my tutorial video on how to make Gmod videos in my style. So let's get straight into it. Alright, so first off, I always start off with a script with some notes on how I see the video in my head before I start recording anything in Gmod. It also functions as a list of voice lines that I need to record later. So once we have a script prepared, we have two options for recording the voice lines. We can either go straight to Gmod and record the voices and video together, or we can record the voice lines and Gmod footage separately. Both methods work, you can really do either one, but I prefer to record them separately so there's no keyboard and mouse noises during the recording, and then I can redo the lines if I need to. So, we are in DaVinci Resolve, which is the video editor I use, because there's actually a free version available that gets free updates, and even though it is free, it can still do a lot of things. It's great. So I'm in a new project here. I'm going to prepare the recording of voice lines. So I'm going to create a new timeline. And now I'm going to set up the recording. Okay, now I have primed DaVinci for recording. So I'm going to do some Foxy lines since I don't need a voice changer to do those lines. Some other voices, like Toy Bonnie, I need to use a voice changer, but some of them I can record straight into DaVinci, so I'm going to do that right now. Hey, what be the matter, Toy Bunny? I got one for ye. Why did the bunny run away? To get away from the runaway hare... To get away from the runaway airplane. And that is done. So I made a few slip-ups, but that's okay. This is part of the reason why I like to record separately, is that if I mess up something, I can go back and cut it out. I believe it was here. Yeah, so if I don't like it, I can just cut it, and it is gone. Alright, those are Foxy's voice lines done. Now I can do Toy Bonnie's, but for that I need my voice changer, so I'm gonna go set that up. I use Voxel voice changer. Really any voice changer works. You don't have to use this one, I just use this one. So I'm going to go set that up. Alright, so I just finished recording Toy Bonnie's lines. OBS Studio didn't like it when I had Voxel open and I was recording it at the same time, so there was no audio. But I recorded the lines now, and now that they're all done, I'm going to go head over to Gmod. Alright, so I've just loaded up GM Construct, and there's actually a few things we need to set up before we start recording anything. So, first off, to record Gmod I use OBS Studio. It's completely free, there's no watermark. So there's a few things we want to set up before we start recording. For my weapons hotbar, I usually only have two things, the fizz gun and the tool gun. So let me just get those, fizz gun and tool gun only. I use weapon S.T.A.R to help with weapon loadouts. It can remove the default weapon loadout. Next we want to turn off the fizz gun effects. So if we go into the spawn menu or the context menu, we want to make sure that these three are unchecked, and also we want to uncheck draw HUD to get rid of the health bar and the crosshair. Third thing, what I want to do is make my player model and the fizz gun invisible. So if I go to player model here, I can find the invisible player model, which is an add-on I have, and that will remove the player model. And then to get rid of this little glow here, you can change the fizz gun color to black, and that will remove the glow. So now I'm almost ready for recording. This next step is optional. I prefer to set my no clip speed to 1, so it is easier to make precise movements, because if it's too fast, we just zoom around everywhere and it's kind of hard to control it. Alright, so we're getting into the Ragdolls now. So over here I have Toy Bonnie and Foxy. They're gonna have a little conversation, but you'll notice that it is quite dark here, so I am going to use a add-on that gives light. So here's a light object, and we can use the context menu to increase and decrease the brightness. There's a bunch of settings, so I'm just gonna make it bright enough. If you don't like the shadows, you can also turn off the shadows. And I'm gonna get a good camera angle here. Alright, so when you're placing a camera, you want to make sure that you click static camera, because if static camera is not checked, then the camera will be able to be moved by your fizz gun, and it can get knocked down by ragdolls or props or anything that gets in its way. If you choose static camera, it will not move, so you won't accidentally knock it over or anything. So just make sure you have static camera checked. Now I'm going to try to find a good camera angle for Toy Bonnie, and I'm going to do his lines. I'm also going to use advanced bone tool so I can pose his face to give him an expression. Okay, so the first technique I'll use is just using cuts to change the expression. So I will film one part and then change his expression, film the other part, and then in the editor I will just cut the part in between the two scenes so it cuts seamlessly. So I'm going to do "Hey Foxy" first. Hey Foxy. And then we'll move on to the second expression. So I'm going to make him point downwards, using the finger, the finger poser. This model does have some endo hands, you can remove them if you want. And now I'm going to record the second part. Oops. Come check this out. So in the editor, I'm just going to cut that later, but for now we'll leave that as is. And now I'm going to give Foxy some lines. So I'm just going to move the camera out of the way and point it to something reasonable. Give him an expression with the advanced bone tool. Alright, now I'm going to do Foxy's line. Aye, what be the matter, Toy Bonnie? Okay, so now we're getting into the animation, and this is how I move the faces so smoothly. I use stop motion helper to move the faces. So I won't go too much into detail about how it works, but there are some good in-depth tutorials out there if you want to learn how to use it. So first, I'm gonna select the ragdoll I want to animate with the stop motion helper menu open, and this is his initial expression. So I'm going to press record, and that'll create a little keyframe here. So that'll be the first expression. Now I'll move the playhead a little bit farther, and now I'm going to create the second expression I want him to have. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to open up the stop motion helper menu again and press record again. So now when I press the play button, it will smoothly transition. And when we are animating, we want to make sure that don't animate fizz bones is on. Make sure that is checked, because if you don't check it, then you can see here I'm clicking, Foxy's whole body is frozen, and we don't want that. We want to be able to animate the face while also being able to hold him with the fizz gun. All I need to do is move him with the fizz gun and then press the play button while I'm moving him to make it look like the face is moving while he's moving. And yeah, that's pretty simple enough. That's all it is. Just switch between two different keyframes with two different expressions. If you're really good at timing, you could even go three, four more expressions. You can go however far you want. But just for simplicity, this is how you change it from one to another. Alright, let's say I want to make Toy Bonnie and Foxy move at the same time in the video. But I'm alone, I don't have any people to play Gmod with me, so I am doing this by myself. So you might ask, how do I move two characters at the same time? The answer is I use a little editing magic to do it. I actually do move them separately, and then I combine them together later in the editor. So I'll show you right now. First, I'll move Toy Bonnie laughing. And now I'll move Foxy. He's gonna look up. And those are both of them recorded, but separately. Again, I'll show you later that they will be spliced together. Alright, so the last thing I want to show you is animation. So this is for not just animating the faces now, this is for actually animating all physics objects. So first I'm going to make this airplane come crashing down. So I'm going to select the airplane with stop motion helper. And I'm going to create a keyframe for starting here. And this time we want don't animate Fizz's bones to be off, because we actually want this to move. So next we move the playhead a little forward. Oops. And we'll choose its next destination. So let's just say I want it to go straight down here. Nope, that doesn't look good. I'm going to try to make it go right here. This is good. And this will be the second keyframe, so I'm going to move it a little bit farther. I'm going to press play to see how fast it comes in. Okay, that's very fast, so I'm going to move it a little farther. That seems better. So the plane is coming down, and because it doesn't seem like there's very good light here, I'm going to add a second light. It's going to be brighter and invisible, so this time I'm going to unshow the sprite and helper just so you can't see it. So now it's a lot brighter. Now we can animate more than one thing at a time, so I'm gonna select Toy Bonnie, and this will be his first pose. So at this point of the animation, he will be just standing here idle, but then as we move along, he's gonna turn around. So I'm gonna say he turns around right here. Now he is all frozen, like every bone is frozen when you select animate Fizz bones. So we're gonna have to unfreeze him a little bit. And now I'm going to turn him around. Okay, so now he's looking at the plane. And I'm going to record. So now the animation kind of looks like this. And you can see that his hand just phased through his body. So that is a little issue. So what I can do is go to a middle keyframe between the two keyframes that I've recorded, select the problematic part if I can reach it. So I can get his hand, his arm. Oh boy, that's his body. So this part can be a little troublesome because the stop motion helper can get Ragdolls into impossible situations, so it's a little finicky. We'll just have to deal with it. So I'll move his arms out in a spot where it will be natural and it won't phase through. Record. So now it looks a little like this. Now I gotta make him scared. So, and note, you can change expressions again with the advanced bone tool, just like before. So I'm going to change his expression to a scared expression. It also affects body groups too, so I can make his eyes small now. Alright, so I've messed around with the keyframe timing a little bit, so the final animation looks like this. And yeah, that is how you animate the fizz bones. You just need to create the poses, shift them around, and you have an animation. Okay, we are back in the video editor after recording the Gmod. So I have color-coded and arranged the voice lines that I recorded earlier. This is usually my first step when I am in the editor, is just to make sure that all of the audio clips are in the correct order as in the script. Now the next step is to go to my Gmod footage, and I need to sort out all of the clips that I want to keep. So that's going to take a while. I will be right back. Alright, so I'm back. I have extracted all of the footage I want from the recording to here. So they are all in their individual clips. And they're all in order. So now what I have to do is I need to just line up the clips with their respective voice lines and just make sure they all line up correctly with the correct timing and everything. So I'll do one for example.
Hey Foxy, come check this out.
Obviously that did not sync up at all, so I need to cut the footage a little bit. So now we have this.
Hey Foxy, come check this out.
Okay, so I've lined up each clip with their respective voice clip. However, we still need to deal with this scene where I said we wanted to have both of these characters move at the same time. So to do this, it works differently in different editors, but the concept is relatively the same. But if you're using DaVinci, what I'm going to do is select both clips and create a new fusion clip. What we're going to do is we're going to apply a mask to one side so the other side shows through it, and that will allow both sides to move simultaneously. Okay, now that we're in Fusion, I'm just going to create a mask around Foxy, like so. And voila, easy as pie, they now move at the same time. That's it.
Oh.
I got one. So yeah, and if you want to move more than two, if you want to move 5 objects at the same time, same deal. You just need to layer them on top of each other and mask each one out individually, and you will be able to move as many things as you want at the same time. It's just a lot of editing. So obviously this looked a little bland because there's no sound effect, no music, not much really. First I'm going to deal with the plane. So I'm going to have the airplane sound effect. I'm going to lower the volume of that because that is really loud. And I'm going to just slap that right here. And I'm going to add a little fade in to make it appear like it is coming closer.
I don't get it.
So that is the airplane sound effect. Now I'm gonna add some music. So I'm gonna just take this FNAF 6 music, plop it down here. Now we want to make sure the volume is also turned down because we don't want the music to overpower what's actually happening in the video. So I think minus 20 is a good volume.
Hey Foxy, come check this out.
Hey, what be the matter, toy? Yeah, that seems good. So we got music, we got a sound effect, some visual effects would be nice too, because this scene here just has nothing. So I might like add a zoom in. That makes it less boring. And let's take a look at how it looks now.
Hey Foxy, come check this out.
Hey, what be the matter, toy bunny?
Look, it says gullible on the floor. Oh.
I got one for ye. Why did the bunny run away?
Why?
To get away from the runaway airplane.
I don't get it. Ah!
And, oops, I forgot to make the music cut out at the end. Yep, but that is that. Thank you everyone so much for watching and waiting, honestly, because I took a while to get this out, but I hope it was worth it, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!